Dozy on.
How you doing? You good?
Option will be available in my plan. Allow people. My time's up. I agree that everybody, once they, in fact, they should. Anyway, my time's up. But here's the deal, folks. You know, well, I think it shouldn't matter where your race. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. We can speak out and be more straightforward. Senator John, I mean, but I mean, it's not about, I know you're supporting by saying booing, but look, here's the deal. That's why I'll end the gag rule, the global gag rule that prevents money from getting to NGOs. More years, we'll have a great deal of difficulty if ever being able to. I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does. Such as de-escalation studies have marked. Excuse me. There have been de-escalation studies. The reason I did what I'm doing is because there's an invasion of Hispanics.
How can you not remember whether or not you had a conversation?
We provide efficiency for appliances. That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. Where an overwhelming number of families, ICE walks into a small Mississippi town. By investing $100 billion in education, in global warming efforts, etc. I was told when we were in office, demanding that HIV/AIDS be designated, destigmatized and treated. And that's why we need to make post-secondary education affordable, available, and training, reducing the crushing cost. What's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. This is sort of a scenic, beautiful town. We can't afford it by just beginning to treat reward work as much as wealth. While Trump is pursuing a damaging and erratic trade war.
No.
My wife, who is a teacher, she's teaching now. She's back in the classroom at a community college where she teaches in Northern Virginia. Things changed. You had over 40 kids shot at Kent State on a beautiful lawn. Americans live up to that promise for most of the people at the time. The people of color, for women. Farm ownership and cooperating loan and operating loans. I remember sometimes when my dad was restless, my mom would say, because our rooms are next to one another, I'd say, next morning, what's wrong? She said, your dad can't sleep. He's just staring at the ceiling thinking, what happens? We have to start rewarding work, not just wealth. The first speech stood up. The former chancellor of Germany stands up. You had Angela Merkel stand up and say how terrible it was. I mean, look, this is beyond the scope of anything remotely
That I am really enjoying. It is causing these conversations to happen.
She has an expression. She teaches full-time and has taught full-time. She taught full-time as a second lady. She taught 15 credits a semester. 65 out of every 100 jobs today. $30 trillion. That makes it far more durable, reliable, and powerful. And partnerships built on coercion. And Lisa, you have been a great friend for a long time. And your Paul son is remarkable. They also got that last year. And for folks in the working class that are below 400, they will, in fact, increase their premiums. Will increase the generosity of the premium tax credit they now get. They go to school from a middle class or upper middle class, and House, having heard, the estimates are as many as 4 million more words spoken. You know, the next thing we got to do here along the line to report people's dignity, restore it.
I think that's an important conversation to have. And it is personal.
So don't mess with me.